Allowed to be here, the seat is reserved for you. As a member of POT, you are supposed to be here. Yes, you are supposed to be here. Once again, her name is Mrs. Bisi Kodeni. Welcome.
Sorry.
So the names of those who are not here is the chairman of POT, who is supposed to be here, but for one reason or the other, he could not make it. It's Chief Igbimo Omo Yoruba from Akure. He sent in his message, which will be read. Then Mr. Olanipekun Ogumeitosa is also not here. Then Mr. Jose Maria Adeosi from Ado-Ekiti could not also make it. So he sent his apology as well. Then, in recognition, we are also recognizing a special guest who is also be called to the item. High Chief Odusanya Oluwole Principal is the Orisa of Ojota Kingdom. It's our special guest of the day. So, as the program commences, goes on, we want to call on the representative of the chairman, POT chairman, who will read the opening remarks. That's Chief Prince Ololade Onanuga.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all are once again welcome to this August occasion. I've been saddled with reading out the opening remarks, or rather opening speech of the chairman of the POT of Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation. Your Highness, Your Excellencies, gentlemen of the front rank, that is the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I greet you warmly and welcome you to this historical press briefing. I am Chief Rotimi Olowoyo, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Igbimo Yoruba Foundation. We are gathered here today as a living witness to yet another epochal moment in our history when the Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation will be officially birthed. We are delighted to have you join us to be part of this presentation of our foundation, its objectives and projects to the public today. We, the Yorubas, as a people, within the present political system of Federal Republic of Nigeria, have not been faring well. For some years now, Mr. Adetayo Adedamola, that is the convener, has been very prolific in his writings, especially on the degenerative nature of Yoruba race. And I have been one of his avid readers among other people. I was compelled to write to him one day and told him about the settings, about setting up an association that will promote the cause of progress for the Yoruba people. The result is the birth of Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation. The aim of this foundation is to, among other things, create awareness in the minds of our people concerning various obvious cultural erosion in our society. 2, revive our cultural heritage. 3, engage stakeholders to the task of improving upon the fortunes of our homeland against damaging influences. 4, to chart a new course of progress for our collective good. As we all know, today is not a speech-making day, but a preface to the improvements that are to come over the time. Ladies and gentlemen of the fourth rank, that is the press, on behalf of the members of the Board of Trustees of Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation, I, Chief Rotimi Olowoyo, the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Igbimo Omo Yoruba, heartily welcomes you to our maiden press briefing. I will appreciate your cooperation throughout the program to gain full benefit of our gatherings here today. I thank you all gratefully for honoring us with your valuable presence. Thank you all once again. You are welcome.
Thank you, sir. Now we move to the main business of the day, which is the reason why we are here. And the convener of this foundation is going to tell us the motive behind the setting up of this foundation, the aims and the objectives of the foundation. But before we invite him to the microphone, let me just tell you a little about him. Mr. Adedamola Adetayo is a prince and native of Igbimo Omo in Ogun State. Mr. Adetayo was born on 17 November 1970 in Ebute-Metta, Lagos. He had his primary and secondary education in Lagos and later earned the Bachelor of Science Honorable degree of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, Anambra State. And he obtained in 1991 the discipline of physics and electronics. Over the years, in the course of his jobs, he has traveled widely and has garnered enough education and extensive knowledge of anthropology, people, and has attended several training courses locally and internationally, specializing in his core discipline and area of competence of administration and logistics. A Pan-Africanist and Yoruba interest enthusiast, he is also a farmer, social commentator, and a passionate campaigner for social justice. He is currently in Abeokuta, where he lives and operates a private entrepreneurship as a managing director of Brookfield Agency Services, a service and logistic concern. Mr. Adetayo is the convener of the Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation. For those of us who knows Mr. Adetayo, and for those of us who are his Facebook friends, we know that he's very passionate about his fatherland, and has been very concerned about what has been happening to this race, what Chief Obafemi Awolowo and others expected of this race. He realized that we have been derailing. So that's the reason that he said, okay, we have to do something about this. But I will not speak on his behalf. Let me just give him the microphone so that he will tell us the reason why we are here this month.
Gentlemen of the press, introducing the Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation. The Igbimo Omo Yoruba Foundation, Yoruba Listener Council, is a Yoruba social cultural foundation established for the purpose of reviewing, recreating, and rebranding our social cultural values that preserve our heritage and our well-being all over the world, now and for the future generations. To protect and preserve our Omoluabi ethos and core values of diligence, hard work, and excellence, to further our progress within the Federation of Nigeria. The Igbimo Omo Yoruba became very necessary at this point in our history as a people after a critical review of the events over a century in our country, Nigeria. Examine the progress of our people, where we are, where we were, where we ought to be, and where we are headed. We realize there is an urgent need to redirect the course of our ship and chart a new course under a renewed thinking and dedication to the Yoruba cause. We are now in a new dawn. Iṣẹ́ sì pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Sorry, as Yoruba, there are daunting tasks ahead of us. We shall remind ourselves where we are coming from the era of our contact with the Europeans, their subsequent incursions and its legacies of slave trade and colonialism to the period of straight and protectorate treaties, the amalgamation of the southern protectorate of maize with the northern protectorate. Through to the period of Yoruba self-rule in the 1950s, ably led by our illustrious sage, Chief Obafemi Awolowo Odule Ile-Ife, and his evident theme that showcased the dexterity of the Yoruba people in development, planning, public management, and good governance to the world and to the envy of others. This was the golden period for the Yoruba. Ushered in independence from the British colonial rulers in 1980. The post-independence events that led to the first military coup, the counter coup, and other chain of events that snowballed into the Civil War and the prolonged northern link to central power through military coups. We shall also remember the dangerous politics of the short-lived First and Second Republic, the first attempt at democracy in 1993, and the annulment of the election widely acclaimed to be the cleanest and fairest in our history, with Bashoru MPO Bashoru Lawole Abiola hosting to victory, and the events that followed leading to his incarceration and eventual death in detention. More so, since the return to democracy in 1999, a review of the stock and general well-being of the Yoruba people have necessitated need for a rethink in our approach to matters of common interest and collective good as a people and a race. Throughout history, our landmark achievements have been well documented by historians, voyagers, and writers as a very vibrant people with so much sophistication, governance, and organization not seen it anywhere on the continent. We are first among equals. From our dwellings and evolution in the lands of our ancestors, the existence of our people in their empire and kingdoms, with all the features of a civilized society comparable to anywhere in the world with kings, chiefs, royals, and military. Our enterprise in agriculture, commodity and businesses with farms, metal works, arts and crafts, cotton weaving and dressmaking, markets, forests, swamps, rivers, seas, and the ocean. Ours is a complete global economy. But things have suddenly changed. Or perhaps have been changing while we didn't take notice. We have observed with increasing concern and dismay what appears to be the deteriorating fortunes of Yoruba land and people. The increasing poverty, ignorance, and disorder amongst people, especially at the grassroots, and the very steady descent into the bleakness of an uncertain future for the coming generations. We have observed with well-founded sadness that suddenly in Yoruba land and among the majority of our people, the children of butchers now eat bones, those of the clothes weavers wear rags, and the farmers' children go to bed on empty stomach. We have observed the pattern of urban-rural migration, which over time has practically emptied the villages of our hinterlands, reducing them to ghost centers. The unduly suffocating city centers, and gradually the new and frightening levels of brain drain, a phenomenon now famously tagged Japa. We have watched killing as our customs and culture have been aggressively corrupted, our shared values being carelessly thrown out the windows of ignorance, all our rallying points, including the exalted thrones of our ownership, being ridiculed, and the sacred memories of our proud ancestors openly mocked, even by our own children. Suddenly, we are caught in a confused social order of uncertain identity, where our children and many others know next to nothing about our peculiar history. We have come to the realization, quite logically, that these are pointers to a road of extinction of a people. What we have in our hands are great existential threats, which must be attended to accordingly with all sense of commitment and duty. The Igbimo Omo Yoruba became very necessary at this critical point to bridge the gap between the old and young generation of our people. The aims of this foundation are as follows. 1, to promote Yoruba cultural practices and customs and launch attitudinal change campaign against negative stereotypes and discrimination about our culture and our people and our person. This will ultimately encourage a re-establishment of faith with our ancestors, culture, traditions, values, and everything of our Omoluabi, which once stood us out as a race apart in Black Africa and indeed more. To preserve and promote Yoruba identity all over the world through our language in its various dialects, traditions, culture, and history. To renew pride in all Yoruba sons and daughters and promote a mindset and experience of the spirits and letters of the Yoruba national anthem. To champion Yoruba cultural advocacy for the orientation of our people towards improving upon the quality of life of every Yoruba citizen, wherever they may be. To inspire and spread our cultural heritage, industry, unity, and love to the world with positive impact in communities where we live, work, and socialize. To utilize the resourcefulness of Yoruba people and friends within and outside authorities to further the cause of our people. To awaken the consciousness of all Yoruba people home and abroad to further our unity and progress. To engender a revival of our lost passion, love, and loyalty for ourselves and motherland by promoting holistic education and our values through enlightenment by way of rigorous intellectual campaign via written, audio, and visual efforts. To work assiduously in bridging the gap of knowledge transfer between the party elders of the old generation and the coming youth of the new generation. To promote indigenous Yoruba festivals, ancient sites, customs, and traditions through regular updates, especially by encouraging massive investment in tourism. To interface with agencies and organizations in public and private sectors to devise all available options to revive our rural internal communities, discourage rural-urban migration, and promote massive interest in communal agriculture on a mechanized scale and with emphasis on farm settlement style. To continuously engage and elaborate with authorities on matters that may further the progress of Yoruba people home and abroad. It is our hope and aspiration, desire, and determination to provide for the multitude of our people in Yoruba land the much needed self-awareness, encouragement, and information that makes for transformation. This is the time for enlightenment, aspiration, and gentle push needed to awaken our sense of collective responsibility for our collective good. At this point in time of our history in Yoruba land, we must wake up to the reality that no Messiah is coming to rescue us or do the things for us which we are well equipped to do ourselves. On this journey from Jeba, Bodesadu, Yagba, Kaba, and all local lands, the spirits of our gallant ancestors will never break faith with us. From Okegeti in Ekiti to Okentase, the ancient city of Ilefe, the wisdom of Orunmila will be with us. From the hills of Itori and our coastlines in Laje Odo, the spirits of our ancestors will rise to be with us. The seven hills of Ibadan will answer to the voices of the great men who have walked through paths, and together with the ancient throne in Oyalafin, will be led aright. The spirits of Olumo in Egba and Agemo in Ijebu will speak in our favor. In Eko, the Awori land of aquatic splendor, Oloko will rise in our support. It is going to be a daunting, back-breaking, and possibly thankless task, but we are confident that Olodumare, the one who directs the affairs of men, and the spirit of our ancestors are with us on this noble journey and will guide us on this. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, ably led by Chief Rotimi Olowoyo, I am pleased to formally announce and present to you on this day the Igbimo Omo Yoruba, Yoruba Descendants Council, as an umbrella body for projection, promotion, and preservation of Yoruba land, our people, interest, culture, values, tradition, history, and heritage in Nigeria and all over the world. The body shall be a forum for galvanizing our collective energies and harnessing our resourcefulness to further the development and progress of Yoruba land and our people home and abroad. Thank you very much.
Thank you once again for our compliment. Next is to my colleagues. Ed, I'm sure that you have some questions, probing questions, to ask any member on the table, especially our convener. If there is anything among what the convener has read out that you are not clear about, please, you are at liberty to ask your question. So anyone who wants to ask a question.
Can I point of order?
Okay.
Please. Mr. Convener, DOT 2020, when
The name, please.
yes, my name is Shino Abibu. At a time like this, when a speech like this is given, before any answering of questions, there must be an acknowledgement of that speech, the secondment of that speech, even if it's just a goodwill message. First. And if you don't mind, sir, I want to say that speech and the detail into that speech remarkable.
Thank you.
It was remarkable, it was thorough, it was well thought out. And it was from the heart of somebody who loves. So I will just say that may the God Almighty be with you, be with the efforts. Didn't marry. How long was he living? History, and this is fundamental because history goes one. History is, and history is related to knowledge management, and knowledge means power. The last thing to achieve will be iṣẹ́ yìí ó kàbùtì ní iṣẹ́ tó bá kàn it is a huge responsibility. So partnerships ẹ máa ní partnership ẹ ṣe research ẹ partnerships ló máa help. God bless you.
Once again.
I bring goodwill on behalf of Moremi Initiative. We have our own initiative. It's called Moremi Initiative.
Thank you very much.
We do evidence-based development.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Fagbero. If you look, do you have a copy of this program?
Yes.
There is provision for goodwill messages, and that will have come after the.
All right, I'm going to mark speech.
Okay.
Mark speech.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Now back to my colleagues. So as I hand over the mic to you, introduce yourself, your name, and the media you are representing. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chinyere Okorafo. I write for the Nation. Okay, being an Igbo, I would like to know the meaning of Igbimo Omo Yoruba. I would like to know the meaning. And another one is
The first.
oh, okay.
Go through this step.
Okay, thank you. The other one, what activities would this foundation be engaging in, to rebrand and to create the Yoruba culture that, what different what activities that relate to each, other than the ones that are out there already.
That's Nation.
Good morning. My name is Usman Salami.
We are here. Put it.
I write for the Punch. Sir, currently we have Ikeja Omo Yoruba, we have Afenifere, and we have a host of other socio-cultural Yoruba non-governmental organizations like that. So, don't you think this proliferation of Yoruba cultural association is not too much? That's one. Secondly, in follow-up to our question, how do you intend to achieve all these your aims and objectives? How do you intend to ensure that the history of Yoruba are codedly transmitted by collaborating with schools, and then in political, do you maybe in future to form a political party or start endorsing political candidates or political. So how do you not intend to achieve all these aims and objectives of this association? Thank you.
Please, let us just answer the two. After that, we can pass it.
Thank you very much. Madam Chief, okay. First and foremost, the meaning of Igbimo Omo Yoruba is written there. Igbimo is council in Yoruba. Omo is child. Yoruba, you know. So it's Yoruba Descendant Council. That's what it means. That's number one. Number two, okay, that one. I will answer it to Salami. You said we have many Yoruba organization, proliferation, everything. Look, what I will say to that is that they are not even still enough.
Yes.
If we have so many, and we can still see this level of rocks in our society, it means that it's either they are not enough or they are not doing so much. Not expected. So it's either we are either going to improve on what we have been doing, what everyone have been doing, or we are going to have to get more. According to the statistics we have, the Yoruba population is about 60 million. 60 million in a country such as we have in Nigeria now, where things have gone upside down. There's so much, the level of moral depravity is you can't talk about it anymore. Everything's upside down. So if you have 16 million people and you want a change, a redirection of mindset, I don't think if you have even 1 million organization talking to them, it will be too many. In fact, if each one of us can become an organization, each one of us taking care of one way or the other. Just like before you came in, I was telling the graduate that what we have now, what we must do now, is that every man must decide to be sensible. Yeah. If you are 25 in this house, in this room right now, and just one person decides to be sensible, we are not all, we are just all useless. That was the case. The Yoruba have a program or a proverb. They say, "Ike olówó kan lára oṣù mẹ́fà, àwọn fún ẹ̀gbọ́n kìíní. So pardon me, Father, I will stay that living for you for your benefit. If you have a community and you have just one rich man and there are so many poor people, that one man himself is a poor man. So if you have a country, a group of like Yoruba in particular, because our attention, our priority is for Yoruba in this case, right? It's not as if we have a right to be concerned about my home. Just as you have the right to be concerned about your home. For now, we are doing charity business at home. We are concerned about our home, which is our Yoruba land for now. Right? So if you are in Yoruba land and we have too many work to do and few laborers, it is we have few laborers. So we will want more. If the IOI, Igbimo Omo Yoruba, is sanitizing the right, let this man sanitize the left, let everyone continue to sanitize it. If you continue to sanitize it, then the place will become clean. Are you following me? The place will become clean. To your question of how to achieve, the main focus, the main objective is written there. The main objective of this foundation is to awaken the consciousness of the people to their responsibility. It is not the work of Adida Bolanitayo or for Mr. Adide or for these 5 of us, or even all of us, we cannot do anything. All of us in this room put together at times 10. We are not enough to do anything. But we are enough to inspire the consciousness of people. If we have 30 people waking up, another 30 to become 60, 60 is waking up 60 to become 120, 120 waking up 120 to become 240. If we continue on that with tenacity, eventually we wake up everybody and people will begin to do the right thing. But when you first wake up, you have to wake up somebody first before you tell him what to do. Before you tell him the things that he's doing wrongly, that he's supposed to do rightly. So our priority
our main priority is to wake up the consciousness of our people. We are going to wake it up from everywhere, including our periphery, including the uppership, the politics, the religious, everywhere, the villages, among the children, among the elders. We are going to be telling people what they need to know. All the things that we have been doing wrongly, that I do wrongly, all of us do things wrongly, all the things we are doing that is not normal, and there are quite a lot of them. We are doing so many things so abnormally, and all these things are adding up negatively to influence our society, and that is the thing that punishes us as a people, especially in Yoruba land. So the main objective for us is to awaken, and we have our agenda, we have our plan, which we are going to dish out along the line, and eventually you will be welcome to them, but we are going to have more of these sessions. We are going to have regular interaction with the press, and we are going to be dishing out so many information and doing so many things on the ground everywhere. So that eventually, by God's grace, as we pray and we hope, we are going to make a difference. We are going to make a difference in our objective. And then you mentioned politics. We are totally apolitical. Absolutely zero politics. We don't want to talk about politics. But of course, when you talk, the politics is done by people. Politics is done by people. Everything about politics, everything about election, everything about government is the people. So if you check the mindset of the people, and you change the orientation of the people, and you change the thinking of the people, their behavior, their morality, and their social orientation, naturally, it's going to possibly impact on politics. But we are not directly going to get involved in politics. We don't want our attention to be derailed. We don't want to lose focus, because we don't want anything to do with politics. What our attention is for Yoruba people and Yoruba land. Everything that we need to do to make this Yoruba people and Yoruba land improve, to emancipate our people, to remove them from the clutches of subjugation, oppression, and everything, and this ignorance, all the things that has come together to make us, to push us into a state of poverty and disorganization. Those are the things we will do. They have multiplier effects. The things we do have multiplier effects, and by God's grace, they will be positive multiplier effects.
Sir.
Yes, welcome. Did I answer your questions? Thank you. Yes, sir. Somebody is raising their hand.
My name is Faith Adebola from Malawi. I write for Malawi. So I have a few questions. One is a question of acceptability, because Igbimo Omo Yoruba will be speaking for Yoruba, or will be representing Yoruba. Before you can achieve these aims and objectives, they should see you as, when you talk, the direction, the advice, the counsel you give should be accepted. And that means for people to hearken to your counsel, it should be accepted. There was a time Afenifere is widely accepted as representing Yoruba then. So, but we have had a lot of a barrage of councils, associations, as my colleagues have said. So how confident are you that the generality of Yoruba will accept Igbimo Omo Yoruba? Because if it is not accepted, as we have quite a number of people, there's no, that one is, so that is my question, that's my first question. The second question is, today, one of the things that is agitating in the minds of many Yorubas because of the many issues on ground is the creation of the Yoruba nation. So people saw that as the way out of this doldrum that we are in. So what is your stand on that? It's interesting you mentioned politics. It's still very, very unclear to me how you want to achieve driving Yoruba's values, culture, and all these things you have mentioned without touching on politics because it has it has become intertwined. So I want to know your stand on Yoruba Nation. Then I also want to know, the third question is, currently, like Yoruba, like I will say, there is hunger in the land. A few days ago, I was in the market to speak to the market woman in Yoruba land, Kuto, and some places in Yoruba land, and there is obvious hunger. In fact, when the alerters are talking, what Pepe is saying in the markets. So before you can talk to anybody about culture and values, they will first say, let's care for our stomach. And when I was asking them what is the issue causing this high rise, they were mentioning two things: insecurity, that people cannot go to their farms. And I remember in those days too, many homes, many families have small farms, even if it is not big. But no longer now. So how will you be able to drive this issue of insecurity, that you can bring back the culture of Yoruba people going into the farms, having small farms, being able to work and being able to produce, so that we can feed ourselves before we start talking of other culture of dressing and all the rest. So the issue of insecurity there. And the fourth is, I know that family is the smallest unit of any society. If the family degenerates, the society degenerates. So how do we tap, because many associations and many people that has had noble ideas like this, they take it from the top, not looking at the family that is the smallest. We know how families were in those days when we were young, and we know what family is now. So how will you be able to entrench, bring back that value into the microcosm of the society, the family unit, so that the children will be able, because we know children of nowadays is not the children of those days. Yes. Then finally, the fifth question is the issue of funding. I know to achieve many of these aims, awareness, raising, awakening, and consciousness, we involve money. And that is where many associations like this that have come up with noble ideas like this have not been able to achieve it, because if you tell them one thing, I've I remember LGBT. And by the time you go under the politicians to sponsor this or sponsor that or whatever, they still tear down the song. So how is the funding going to be?
Finish the press conference. I am very, very happy with these questions you have asked, President Back. Now, these things you have asked are the key issue that brought up Igbimo Omo Yoruba. They are the key issues. And let me start from that hunger. Let me start from hunger, please. Yorùbá, àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé iṣẹ́ kì í ṣàdédé iṣẹ́. Poverty just doesn't suddenly happen to people. It takes a process. Ababa? Yes. It takes a process. No. People don't just suddenly go to poverty. It takes a process. For example, somebody, you are working with a lot of now. You are earning some money. And something happens, the two will be showing crack in a lot of you. That will happen to you. Just, for example, you show some crack, one person is doing this, another person is doing that, and you are looking at him, before you know it, me, salary, no salary. Maybe you are getting once in 2 months, before you know it, once in a year, before you know no salary. Poverty is coming. It will suddenly happen. You could have been seeing the signs. The hunger in Yoruba land is the most scandalous situation we have faced. It's most scandalous. I don't know how it would have happened. And that is what we are going to change. It's the first thing. And you know the government to change this. No. You don't need government. As one of our government, the government is not even ready to change it. That's the truth. These people, the people in government, whether they like it or not, even if they are sincere, poverty
has been weaponized against the people of Nigeria, especially Yoruba land. Poverty has been weaponized against us. And I thought I wonder, it's so easy to conquer it. Poverty, religion, those two things were weaponized against Nigeria. And there are things that are not easy to control. When, just like you said, when a man is hungry, it's so difficult to make him reasonable. You see, I was sharing this, and I've been excited about it. To conquer poverty in Yoruba land, now, today, we have several millions of square acres of land, or hundreds of thousands. We have 60 million population. Out of that 60 million, at least half of it will be used. Many of them are in Lagos, running up and down, wasting their time in this Lagos, just constituting nuisance all over the place. Not even cybercrime alone. Many of them are either unemployed, underemployed, or unemployable. And they are the ones that are still toggling, doing the royal boy up and down. If, for example, you take, let's say, Shaki, or just one time in Yoruba land, and you meet the chief, the owners of the land, even in this Lagos, I know places in Ojo there, so there are some riverine towns, very massive, you will not believe it. In Ojo there, you have the Shagila, Esofi, Egmont, Ojota, Origide, Erewe, many towns like that. I don't know if Baba will know them. Including so many places. Thousands of hectares of land that they are wasting. And they are wasting now, as I'm talking to you. Or they are now being sold gradually. But they are wasting. Then the children of our land are the ones in motor park collecting something. Why? In the past, the typical Awori man does not eat fish that you put inside fridge. Are you aware? Yes, sir. Never. Awori, there's a chief of the economy of Yoja. Yes, you cannot find an Awori man, you give him fish that you put on the inside fridge, he will not eat it. So they are wealthy people. But because we have been blinded and taken away from our wealth, we think we are poor. We are not poor. Your brother is not poor. It's written here. Your brother is not poor. If you take 1,000 hectares of land today, 1,000 hectares of land, yes, that's about 2,500 acres. The size of first hectare today, you can get this plenty in the land. I will not say that we are sitting down. To make this thing today, this thing we are doing here, some people will blow the money. They trusted and they brought the money. Right? They brought the money. 1 naira, 5 naira. Do you know that 1,000 hectares of land in Shaki or anywhere, 1,000 hectares of land, you know, if we get 1 billion naira, 1 billion naira, and go to that 1,000 hectares of land, we are going to cultivate it, we are going to build farm settlements there, we are going to have thousands of Yoruba people they are living there in settlement. We are going to get settlement, thousands of people living there and producing. Now, do you know the multiplier effects of 1,000 people backed by the power of 1 billion naira producing on a farm? The multiplier effect is powerful. Now you want to ask, how do you want to raise 1 billion naira? You want to ask, how do you want to get the land? First, idea. Please, forget how. Ideas. Money chases ideas. First, idea. The idea is that we want to have a farm settlement of 1,000 hectares of land. That's the idea. The logistics of making it happen is a different story. If it is 1 billion, I don't have 1 billion. I don't think any one of us here have 1 billion. You understand? But all of us here, if we decide to raise 1 million, we'll raise it. Believe me. You know, because we are not putting mind on it, because we have been so beaten to the point that we are not thinking deeply, we miss so many things. If we want to raise 1 billion, all of us here, if we determine to do it, we will raise it. 1 billion naira is 1,000 naira in 1 million places. 1 billion, 1,000 naira in 1 million places. That's all. If you ask 1,000 people to bring back 1 million to bring out 1,000 people, you think they won't bring it out? If they find somebody who is credible and they find integrity and there is trust, even there are people who can do more than 1,000, people who can do 1 million. You can get 1 million in 1,000 places. Yes, there are people who can do it. And when you get that money to the account, you call this or that, is an architect. He's going to design housing for free of charge. But he believes in it. You are going to call that man, and this or that here is websites, Google technician, I don't know about it, but he knows about it. He will design internet there. We are going to call this other Oga, he's an agricultural expert. He's in London and America, he has gone all over the world. We are going to beg him again. He's going to give us expertise. I mean, we are going to call another person, he's an agricultural economist. He will give us his own knowledge. By the time we join that knowledge together, and we are going to get another person, he's a retired major. One person is a retired DSS. The other person is a retired police. They are there. You are going to go to that Shafi, put 1,000 people there, and start farming. And I will see the Fulani person that will say we should not farm. The thing that they have done to us is because we don't come together. And I will rather say again, I require you. Because we don't come together to discuss this thing. Yes. You stay in your house, you stay in your house, you stay there. Everybody just go again, you and your family, you and your family. It's going to destroy us. But once we come together and institute an idea, once you can get that idea, it is achievable as far as I'm concerned. Just keep what we are doing now. To your first question, acceptability. This thing, I've been writing and writing. I have my idea, but I know that I am just one person. Who am I? He has an idea. He has an idea. We all have ideas. On this social engineering, we all have ideas, but we are just one person. That idea is just useful when it is brought together. So, Chief Olowoyo say, this man, they call out 10 p.m. This man, you have to write. Why don't you have followership? And people seem to trust you. And you are charismatic. You are able to carry people. Why don't you let us start on it? Okay, I'm thinking of my own rights and dreams, so because I don't have money. I'm just managing my life. Said, two of us agreed. There's already a giving. 3 of us agreed. 4 of us agreed. 146 of us are agreed today. Abi? Yes. Before you know it, 1,000 of us will be agreed. By the time you know it again, 10,000 of us will be agreed. Even if it's only 1,000 people that agrees and they come together for a common purpose, they will achieve what they want to achieve. We don't have to change the whole of Lagos State. We don't have to change the whole of the state. You can just take one small place. Are you following me? You can go to Jebu and take just one small village. One small village. And use as a pilot project. Let that 1,000 of us that agree, let us go to. We are not talking about what we want to change in the state. We want to change Odoloko, for example, my mother's village. Do you know what 1,000 of us, this man, Mr. Dede, all these big men, all of us enter one village. Do you know what it means? Instantly, just that we enter that village and sit down to drink water and sell, we immediately change the mindset of the people of that village. The people in the cities, they will hear that something has happened in their village. We have not even put a cover down. We just sat down there. And when you change that village, maybe we'll build that fast settlement there. I've always emphasized on that fast. If you build that fast settlement there, and the thing clicks, you leave Odoloko, you go to Iloti, from Iloti, you go to Ilesha, from Ilesha, you go to Ibadan. Just like our pastors plant churches, you two start planting your ideas. That is it. You start planting your ideas. And it works. All these people there, they set up, we lead them. We go to this way, we set them up, we lead them. Before you know it, the first multiplier effect is that food will be much, hunger will go down, employment will be there, urban-rural migration will be checked. The pressure in the cities will go down. Because all these people in the city, those people like that, they will be there 2 days. Doing what? What are you doing in the cities? If I finish from there and rural, I'm not going to buy a Abeokuta street. I don't want to even come to this Lagos. Are you following me? If I have my choice, I will be in my father's hometown. I won't even be in Abeokuta then. If I have my choice, what am I looking for? You understand? So, for followership, it's not a matter of. We are not in politics. We are not politicians. So be impressing people. No. Get idea, locate a place, execute it, make it well, leave it there, go to another one, be there. And we are not in a hurry. We don't have time limit. We are not doing time frame. We are only doing targets. We are only just doing our best. It is not my job. I am not governor. We are not councillor. We are just trying to do our best for the society. So I don't have time frame. We don't have target. We don't have limits. No pressure at all. That is it. So we are not even out to please anybody. Pleasing Buddha, for what? We are out to do the best we can according to our resources. Now, Yoruba nation, that one is a sensitive one. It's a sensitive one because the foundation doesn't have the policy of foundation today. We don't subscribe to Yoruba nation in the context of it. In as much as individually of us would have loved to be in the Yoruba nation because of certain reasons, it would be most desirable. But for this foundation, we don't have any alignment with the Yoruba nation agenda. Because in truth, if we are reasonable people in Nigeria, our elders say again, I don't quote my elders, our elders say again, the sky is large enough for all this to fly. But the problem with Nigeria is that we don't have structures. The what do you call it? The constitution is fraudulent. You understand? The country itself was founded on fraud. So there are no clear lines of demarcation. There's no way equity and justice can be in a country where there's no clear article of association, which is the constitution. And because of that, that is why the suspicion, very justifiably so, you understand, people get suspicious because if I'm in my house and I don't have the power to determine who comes to my house and who can do whatever in my house, I don't have that power, then I have good reason to be worried. As many of Yoruba people are worried today. Otherwise, if what we would have loved, what would have worked is for Nigeria to have a properly structured federation, fiscal and political federation. If we add that, and the country is structured into states or regions, with all states or regions having their autonomy, fiscal autonomy, their laws and everything. If the Ogun State man is coming to, the man, the Igbimo man is coming to Lagos State to go and meet our holy elders, he knows his limits. It's written. He knows it cannot be this, cannot be that. When the Ondo man too goes to Osun, he knows his limits. Because it's clearly written. Not to come of the Yoruba man going to Kaduna, He knows what is written. The same thing for Igbo going to Lagos going to Igbo. It's written. But now we don't have that. We don't have that. We have something, a fraud they call One Nigeria. What's that? Where one person can go anywhere and do anything, and you can go where a governor, a policeman is telling the governor that you don't have authority to control me. That is Governor Sawodu. Is that not embarrassing? So it's not a country. No. You have good reason to be scared. You have good reason to be worried. And that is what I believe informed the apprehension and agenda for Yoruba nation. But as a foundation, we don't subscribe to that. Now, driving values without politics. We don't need it. I've explained that already. Yes. And let me explain to you how another problem we are not paying attention to in politics. The problem of paying attention to politics is that the drivers of Nigerian politics, the drivers of Nigerian political process, the engine room of Nigerian politics is the grassroots. It's not all these senators, all these big men you are hearing their music. It's not Tinubu. They are just controllers and directors and manipulators. The people who determine everything that happens in politics are those people in the grassroots, those rural people, those Yatai, Yakuti, Taju, Luku Eleja, Luku Elepo. They are the ones who determine politics. I hope you know that. If you don't know that, that would be a serious matter. You should know. I can explain to you. If you go, I will explain to you the concept of this question. If you go to APCP, for example, the politics starts from the zonal level. From zone to ward. From ward to local government. From local government to state, state to federal. That's how it is structured. You can see the fraud. The thing is so conveniently structured for manipulation. It's perfectly structured for manipulation. Because now, if you go to the zone is maybe 2 or 3 streets or 4 streets come together. That's a zone. Typically in a ward, there can be 10 zones. Typically in a ward, there can be 10 zones. Now in that zone, right, you have what they call structure. This structure they are talking about. You have party chairman of the zone for APC, party secretary, party this, party that. They have the register. In that register, all of you here speaking grammar are not there. Are you there? I'm not sure you are there. None of you is there. You know who are there? Jugunu, Django, Mabakudi, Iyatelu, Iyakiko, only 40 people. If you have 100 names, 95 of them are in this category of people I'm talking about. That list of members is what they call party register. The chairman of that zone puts it under his armpit. He will guard his power, it's under his pillow. That voter register, that membership list of that zone is like Bible in the hands of the journalist. It's like gun in the hands of the historian. It is the most powerful weapon of the politician. No, you are not on that list. That's your street that you live in Magodo. Your gate man is on the list. The man that is selling burger for you is on the list. Your driver's wife, who doesn't go to anywhere, is on the list. All the funny people on your street that you don't even talk that you just look at them, you treat them with disdain. They're on the list. There are people from 95% of that list. Then you now go to office and be breaking grammar, saying you're a lawyer, you're an engineer, you're this, you're that. I'm a journalist, I speak in America, I speak in Harvard, Harvard to Oklahoma. You think it's funny. So when you have that list, as they have done in zone 1, they do in zone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, and it forms the ward. As they have done in zone ward A, they've done in the other 10 wards. Typically, the local government has about 10 wards too. So what I've just described is what they do all over the country, everywhere. So when it's time for election, and you need a councillor, a chairman, House of Reps, everybody, including the president, they felt that to nominate them from the party. They don't know that register. That register is where they nominate them. It's not you. That register is when they will get delegates that will go to ward to nominate councillor and chairman of local governments. That register is where they will go from zone to ward to local government to state to nominate the governor of Lagos State. They are not there. That is why it was easy for someone to tell you are not going anywhere. Because he knows what is on the list. He knows the addresses. Everybody doesn't know. He doesn't have the list. It's the man that has the list that has the power. The list is with him. So he's telling you, well, you are leaving that office tomorrow. Because he knows the list is with him. It's not with you. I saw so many people that time they are talking, though, they will be breaking English. All these things, all these are people who have to speak English very well. The lawyers, the advocate, the population. How will they be removed? You cannot do anything about it. So what I'm telling you, in essence, is that at the end of the day, these people will go to Alausa. This 95% of people are telling you, when they go to Alausa, all they do is contractual politics, transactional politics. Just go there, you 1,000 delegates, you have money, you go and borrow your money for those investment. You can borrow your money for Ikeja Trust Bank. You borrow money, sell house, once you have your money, it's highest bidder, you carry this one, you give, what they brought back. They nominate all the people, up to the president. Then when that gets together election, that's when you come out. You not say you're obedient. That's why you say is band Achiwaju. That's how you say it's Achiku. That's how you say you not start writing. You not start doing campaign. The election has been done already under your noses. That's what you want to do on is just mere property, because head or tail, you are going to elect somebody you don't know. You are going to elect somebody who has no allegiance to you. You are going to elect people who owe you nothing, because you don't know how the person came about. While you are in your house watching Super Sports, they are having meeting. Even as you are sitting here, they are having meeting. Yes. So our target to make anything good, don't bother yourself going to meet someone. Go and meet Yakudi. And Yakudi is easy to talk to. Go and meet Taju Foga. It's easy to talk to. Just call him and influence him. That's what we will do. Say, look, everybody should like this. But we just come this way. Do this. If somebody like this Foga, 10 of us is facing only one target, it will feel very, very important. And we are not telling to vote for us. We are just telling to be sensible and not just put yourself on the news. You understand? So those are the people we are going to be. Once you change the mind of those people, take them away from poverty by the way described earlier. Take those people away from poverty. Most people are fed. It reduces substantially the propensity for misbehavior, for corruption, for crime, for everything. Because food, most importantly, when a man is fed, well fed, when a man knows where his dinner is going to come and his lunch, and is not thinking about it, he can resist temptation more easily. Unless, of course, there are people who are born greedy. You understand? But so very substantially, you change. Why do I do this? And that's where the Bologna comes. You understand? So that drives the politics. Meeting politicians now, as we are Nigeria, we go and meet politicians and say we have Igbimo Omo Yoruba. How many are you in the group? Yes. He said we have members to 2,000. I donate 1 million. The next thing, when he wants to campaign, you tell him to come and dance for it, to go and do something like dance for it. That's what he will do now. Yes. He will ask how many of your members. How many structures do you have? You have structure on Lagos, you have the local government, so you have 1,000 members in Baraki, 100,000 members. Hold on. He will write check for you with you, and that's 1 million. Once he gives you that 1 million, you are in soup. Oh. What we need is 1 million. Even here, when we wanted to start this our event, when that event right away, and we have an event. We cannot ask one man, we want to spend 3 million naira. We cannot ask one man to bring 3 million naira for us to buy the event. It's not reasonable. Let us contribute 10,000 naira each. 10,000 naira times 100. What is that?
1 million.
1 million. 100. Some people just put 100,000 down. Some people just put 50,000 down. Because, and when they trust you, and God help us, so I won't get any temptation, and you're able to be transparent, that's what they want to do. So somebody put 500,000 down, one person. And that same way, the day you're able to need 1 billion, that's when they're going to put it down, when they know you're going to do it. And once what is called established, the main objective for us is to get a commonality of purpose. Commonality of purpose. Once, even the Bible says it for the Christians who know. Which book is that? I think it is Genesis 11:6, I think. It says the people are one, and they're come together to think together, or something like that. They think in one language. They speak as one. What they speak as one, nothing can stop that which they determine to do. If we determine to cultivate 100,000 acres this year, we will do it. It's just for you to put the idea down. If you are waiting for government to go and do farm settlement, they will never do it. They will go into settlement. It is going to be a people power. Yes, everything will rely on the people. Everybody. We are going to get people to come together and be reasonable. And we have to save ourselves. And in fact, Awolowo said it. She forgot about Awolowo in 1983. He said it. He said the time will come. A time will come. He said it was something to reporter in NTA or LTV. He said the time will come when the something becomes so intense that the people, the masses, will come to hold their destiny in their own hands. He said it, and I read it in my own ears. Right? So, family, smallest unit is good. That's what we start from. We are starting from the grassroots, not from the top. We don't have any business from the top. The grassroots is where the problem is. It's in the family units. It's in the neighborhood. It's in our villages. It is not in Asoro. The problem is not in Asoro. What we have is an identity crisis. It's a social crisis. A social crisis is what is worried of. It's not economic crisis. If you keep the social crisis, what is economic? In the past, we used to have extended family culture. I can just pack my door and enter this my uncle's house. I'm living there. Yes. You can't do it anymore. I mean, in the past, if I don't have a job, I can go and get married. So I know that the family will support me. Yeah. I mean, sir, I can just move into my daddy's house and say, "Oh, Baba, maybe you're there, and we are living." You cannot look at it now. We don't do such. Very few people do that. You can't. Even if people stay under your nose that you are seeing, you don't help them. You see things on the road that the past we can correct. Your neighbor's child, you see him on the road, and he's misbehaving. It's not mind your own business. After all, you are taking of your children. And you don't know that when you don't correct your neighbor's child, when you don't mind the business of your neighbor, how his business might affect yours. Eventually, his business will affect yours. Because when you are treating your child well, and you are sending them to Corona school, everything fine, and your neighbor is training his children in the way that they will become criminals, they will get at your children eventually now. Yes. One way or another, they get at your children. It's that your children will not be free to play on the streets, or your children will not be, will go to university, and these people will go and put them in cultism. I mean,
Yes.
they are the ones who go and put the children in cultism because they are not minding their business. You should. These are the messages we are going to pass. And we're going to continue passing it. So every day, sending it to our ears. Just like the pastors continue preaching the same thing every day for 40 years. We will be preaching every day for 40 years. And many of those things, by the way, are encased in our customs. And those customs, Asha. Yes. Those are customs, the Yoruba customs. Culture. Customs. Okay. There's a difference between culture and custom. Oh, yeah, yes. This thing is wearing now. It's actually, it's an expression of our culture. It's actually fashion. It's culture. It's a way of life. Culture is a way of life. You can choose to carry it that tomorrow and put it here and change it. That's culture. That's culture. So, but not you can decide to sew and wear that tomorrow. It's culture. But custom is different. Customs are immutable laws. There are things that are not supposed to be changed. For example, are you following it? Those are the things we have done to ourselves. Culture are not things that are supposed to be changed. For example, you have an urban, Kabiyesi. The law, the customs is there. Well clear. Kabiyesi don't do one. When you want to get Kabiyesi, you do one, you do two, you do three, you do four, then 5, and then 6, you sit on the throne. Kabiyesi. Abi?
Yes.
But now, Kabiyesi, you jump 1, you jump 2, you jump 3, you go to 4.
And on to 6. Yes.
So, if better for me.
That's why they are dying.
Because the custom is not for you to pick and choose. It's not suggestion. No, customs are not suggestion. They are immutable laws. They are codes of ethics. Among the people know that just like child naming, our culture, our custom, not culture, custom. We have clear guidelines for child naming. You have a child, the 3rd day you do Ikeja to know what the child has come to do, where he came from, the spirit, the Orisha he come from. Then after that, the 8th day you do the Somolorukọ, you bring Orogbo, you bring Obi, and this and that. Oh, for example, Obi. Maybe you use Obi. Obi, this. They have things they are doing. Right? Then, as for the year, they have done the test for you. We have taken that as suggestion. Now, you have your child in some places, according to most men of our Muslim, that child, even before the child is born, what's the protocol? They are giving a name. Everybody draws anything, anytime. Draws letter. And you don't know that that custom is what ties us together. If we don't behave in line with those customs, if there's nothing tying us together, just like this man said, actually in his book, this one apart, the white man is wise. He didn't quarrel with you, he didn't fight you. All he did was just put a knife in the things that held you together. Because if you no longer speak the same language, once you divide the people you have, you don't have to shoot them.
Destroy them.
Just divide the people you have killed them. That is what is happening to Yoruba land. Now, if you want to do anything, we have to be very sure if it's a Muslim, or if it's a Christian, or if it's a Babalawo. Even in the family, even in your family, right? If you have a Christian, even that Christian said, if one is deeper life and one is a problem. Even that Christian, one is deeper life, they cannot relate. Then that Islam, if one will go and do Sunni and one do Ahmadiyya, there's another problem. Please, tell me, how will that family ever stay as one? You know, it is the reason why all the families in Yoruba has crashed. It is the reason all the villages are empty. And when the villages are empty, it's not easy for erosion 1 or insecurity 2. So that people just walk in. Yes. Because you go to many villages now. I was in Ayedu the other day. You go to many villages now. now,
Very.
it's you just see scantily, people just scantily. So tell me, if something happens to that place, and the people they go to rush to, they won't even go. They won't even go because their pastor have told them not to go to that place.
Yes.
They won't even go. So I don't know that you won't go. So they just continue taking over the place, taking over. Those are the things we have to change. We must change it. You don't need money to change it. You don't need money to change it. You just need to be talking to people, telling people as we're talking now. Continue saying it, continue saying it, don't stop saying it, continue saying it. Barely, continue saying it until what they do say. They will practicalize it.
Thank you.
They went to. They just want to pick something.
Okay.
Maybe before the police press men, if there is any member of the congregation of the ask one question to the other to ask. Okay. Mr. Sylvester is from Tribune.
Okay.
It's also a colleague. You can use the mic.
Step forward.
The mic.
What I just want to say is that I just want to appreciate you. I've really said a lot.
Please use the.
I can see the passion in you. A lot of us we have the passion. But the problem is our government. Our government, we are somehow. We have the, how would I call it? We have good followers or bad leaders. And who are willing for their own pockets. Understand? I'm not interested in the masses. So I can see what you have said today is what every Nigeria will do. Because we want a better nation. So my only question I want to ask is that now coming up this time, to fight for the Yoruba race and also to seek the welfare and the kindness and love, which is going to be the work of the government. All the government are not interested. So we are trying to help the government to help our people. The question is now that this of Nigeria, people have never cried like this, even the Yoruba people are crying more than the people are being hungry. And it's the Yoruba man that is the leader. Is it that the Yoruba man that is the leader is a cause to Nigeria now? Or what do you have to say? Are you going to fight your own brother that's in power and that Nigeria will come outside? People Buhari can never cry. Nigeria was never like this. During Buhari time. So what are your people going to do? What are you going to tell your brother that's in power? That is what you
Please.
Is there any other question?
Okay, that's better. The question is very political. Very. Okay, first and foremost, the adjective fight. That's out of this. We are not fighting for the values. We are advocating. We are advocating for improved lot for the Yoruba people. We are advocating for improvements in the living standard of Yoruba people. We are advocating for a turnaround of mindsets for Yoruba people and Yoruba land. So it's not that the question of fighting for anybody does not arise. Now the other story of Igbimo power, Igbimo power is I am starving, Abi. That does. There's never a time. I'm now over 50 years old. Hello, sir. I'm now over 50 years old. I don't remember a time. I don't remember a time in this country when people are not hungry. Number one. In 1984, it was so bad. It was terrible. It was so bad, Baba, that soldiers were busting open shops to give people food.
we could not eat. We could not eat even when you add the money. In 1984, thereabout. Are you following me? We could not eat. In 1982, we had a neighbor. My mother used to say, austerity measure. My mother used to say, these people are so poor. Look at what they are eating. In 1982. In 1991, in 1987, the transport from Lagos to you can have to later. In 1987, the transport from Lagos to Enugu was 25 naira. When I was in the university, some people could not afford it. In 1987, so many people could not afford it. Up till 2015, 11 to 15, is this hunger we are talking about. Till today, we are talking about hunger. And last year, 2 years ago, in 2007, I wrote an article, it's unpublished, where I wrote very accurately that in all the history of Nigeria that I have with me, that I have studied, it is not noted so far, except briefly, for the brief period of Muslim Muhammad perhaps, which we cannot even rely on because we don't know what will be die shortly. But except for that regime, I don't think it has happened that any succeeding regime became better than, or in quotes, better than the previous. In 2001, Nigerians were saying, "Yay, Abacha was a good man."
Yes.
In 2002, they say, "Yeah, Abacha was a good man." Oh, Lord, look how Abacha is going to kill us, so Yoruba man. When Abacha left, and Jonathan came in. Hey. Obasanjo was the best, so can you imagine? It's not scandalous that people can say they are missing money. Very scandalous. Right? So, we are the one who have problem. It's not the government of Tinubu or Buhari, because we lack understanding. Right? The first understanding we lack is that this Nigeria, as it is presently constituted and structured with that iniquitous constitution called National Constitution, and the kind of people we have become, you and I, all of us, how can we, the people behave like us, go to the streets, the way we are behaving, and I've just told you now, all of you, are you a member of ABC? No. Mr. Spencer, are you a card member of ABC? No. Are you a card member of LP? No. Are you a card member of PDP? Have you ever voted in delegate election or primary election? I'm sure none of us here have done it. Maybe only this matter, maybe. But most of us here have not done it. You are not a member of that. When they were doing all the party registrar, you don't know about it though. When they were doing the selection of the delegate, it's not your business. Your own is that after they have finished the go to go and they come to general election, then this one is Obi of Onitsha. Obi, what's the last name? Tita Obi. Even Tita Obi, you don't know how he came home. You just hear that he is the presidential candidate of OP of Labour. The underground story that brought him to become like nobody, you don't know, but you're obedient. The underground story that brought him to book, nobody know. I voted for him too, because I like him as a person. Right? Atiku, you don't know. They are already doing it again now, you don't know. You don't know those things. All is that
they have done.
I am obedient. Obi can do it. Tinubu can do it. Kineko can do it. You are just wasting your time. You and I are the people who can do it. And we are not ready to do it. We are shifting responsibility. Okay, if you Tinubu come to this today and leave dollar as 2,000, for example, maybe it's 2031. If you do dollar by 2031 and it is as let's say 27 or 2031, any time Tinubu leaves, our dollar is 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira per $20. By the time the next president comes, it can be dollar will become 5,000.
telling you, it's not a cause.
There's a pattern. Dollar was 10 naira in 1991 when we were shouting that Banga was evil. I mean, in 1998, when Abacha was about to, when Abacha expired, it was 92 naira. In 1998, it was 92 naira.
The speed was not much. The speed was not much then.
It is now. It's very.
The speed is much.
If you know what is, I can't even hold. I will hold a brief for the government anyways. That's my attention. Yes. I can't hold for the government, but the point of the matter is that Tinubu is president. Is not president on behalf of the Yoruba people. Yeah. He's president because he won election by going around and people voted for him. I don't remember the Yoruba people sat down somewhere and nominated him to go and become our president. No. We didn't go out, we didn't nominate him to go and we have voted for him. I voted for him. I campaigned for him. But at no time did Yoruba people sit down and say, yes, please, we are going to represent Yoruba people as president. No. So if he fails because he failed. From Nigeria. He's not failing because he's a Yoruba. The reason why, and when you are saying that we are hungry, I don't think it's the only Yoruba that's hungry. No. I still know how many people I've tried to help this week in my own little worker that is worrying me. Right? I'm affected too. I'm hungry too. But I will not go and carry my phone to say I'm hungry. Because I'm still managing my life. Both of us are just managing our lives. Abi? Yes. The whole country, poverty is pervasive. It's everywhere. If you are not sure, you go to Ajegunle there. Go to Ajegunle and you see what is called poverty there. Go to Alabaragu. Abokis are there. Igbo people are there. Or Yoruba people are there. People are hungry. And the reason why this thing has happened, and which it has to happen anyway, is because the subsidy of dollar and fuel and goods, which they have to do. That does it. So it's not a Yoruba thing. It can even get worse if we don't decide to change. The only time we're going to change it is when we start to produce. Are you following me?
I'm following you, sir.
Let everybody, two things, produce. We have to produce. If you don't even know what to produce, again, go and produce food. If you cannot produce clothes, if you cannot produce television, if you cannot produce TV, please go and produce food. I think we can do that. Can't we? Let's go and produce food. If we cannot produce telephone, we cannot produce. Let us go and produce food. Maybe if we produce food, I will eat well.
Yes.
The remaining one is easy.
Make money.
Okay, nobody wants to produce food. Everybody is in Lagos, carrying tire up and down. And you want that is one. You don't want to produce food one. You don't want to partake in the process to get the right leadership. Because if you get the right leadership, if all of us partook in that electoral process, from the grassroots, I don't limit to 95% idiots to elect for you. If all of you partook, you know what happened? Every single member of the House of Assembly will be people like the Orishinka. Can you imagine 469 Orishinka in the House of Assembly? They would have changed the constitution. If you have people like what's that lawyer Falana, and you have 40 of them in Lagos House Assembly, you know what happened? But we don't particularly go to Lagos Assembly now. Many of them they wrote exam for them. Many of them they wrote this exam for them. I know two of you do this. They wrote exams for them into the House of Assembly. You don't know. You don't care. You sit down. When they are doing that, you don't care. You don't want to partake in that entire process. You don't want to partake in the process of producing food. Two major things. Then you want to sit down and now say one person, one man, only one man, to go and become miracle worker in Abuja. I know it's waste of time.
So, we are trying to round up very soon.
Once again, sir, thank you very much for the fact your elucidation is very enriching. because it has put so many practical dimensions. And maybe I should just suggest, I heard what you said about government. Society at large, right, can only engage only a better in the big sector, the private sector, and civil society, which is the population which we are. And the interest, everybody has a role. And got this is all about shape. Go back, disturb you, if you are eating pounded yam, my grandmother will say, "Tell about the young." They have to deliver. They have to say, "Come away, she's no pay," so that they don't disturb you while they're yes. So even as we are implementing what we are implementing, we must have a policy. You must have a policy that will say, okay, Mama, deal with government so that they will not disturb. That farm settlement is a brilliant, you see, you captured me totally by that reverse urban-rural migration, and you gave me a practical method, which is farm settlements, which we had before, which were mostly destroyed by the military regimes.
Of course.
Especially the cattle ranches.
They brought us this far.
It's a farm settlement, because it's a cattle ranching. So there could be two dimensions of this, farm settlement
And cattle ranching.
And always, like you said, because you can come out of all that. But Sherisa, the policies, the government, and the automatic, when they start successful, yes, he told you, Mama, because everything you said, the security dimension, all those things are fine. Constructing a framework like that is brilliant, but there will be government policy. So where and man as a Mama, you engage government for the limits of their responsibility. And then that's why we focus on partnerships. Somebody asked about whether you alone, and I'm very, very happy the way you answered that question. So partnerships. What you want, there are one or two other people that will move in another particular direction. To buy up, to buy pay, or one leader, and just stop what this is doing. So dimension, yes, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir. It's noted. Before we go on, to round up this session, I'll be calling on our special guest to give us an advice, not a speech, but advice to this foundation and to the members. What I call Aishi Ilusanya Olawale Musibawa, the leader of the
Well, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
My chair. Permit me to stand on the existing protocol. My name is I Chief M.O. that is Musibawa Olawale Odusoya, Olisa of Ojota Kingdom, representing my I Chief, Chief Said Egbejobi Ashila, Boba Sheye of Ojota Kingdom. He's supposed to be here. One reason and another is outside the country. So on his behalf, I will say thank you and congratulations for everybody present here today. That one. Well, Adua Yagba. You permit me to mix my words because I'm an IT and a traditionalist. Adua Yagba. Then when you are speaking, that I'm going to add to the name of Igbimo Omo Yoruba. Definitely, to my own understanding, Igbimo Omo Yoruba, ó jẹ́ orientation foundation, because you can see here, gbogbo wa ní kọ̀ọ̀kan la máa gbé láti pick one or two things, and that's the reason why I'm giving kudos to my brother here. Because if we can get people like him within us, at least materially a lot of changes, especially within Yorubas. Torí àwọn Yorùbá gangan, gbogbo bí tí mo rí pé a ní àwọn ọ̀sẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí, àwọn níbi tí wọ́n mẹ́nu bà yìí. Wọ́n ní bí ilé bá sán ni àwọ̀ òwe ní ẹ̀fọ́díjì mi. Tí ilé bá tí èèyàn bá jẹ́ tó jáde nínú ilé eré, nínú ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ, nínú ìrìnsí ẹ, nínú ìṣesí ẹ, will determine it and it will show. Irú ẹ̀ ni o tó gbé wá bá wa yìí. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe fẹ́ rọ gbogbo wa tá wà níbí àti all the press. Sorry for not recognizing you. I could really recognize you, because whatever you want to do, our press people, I do regard them and give them kudos, because ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa, ohun tó ń dùn wá, ohun tó ń dùn mọ́ wa, àwa ló ń bá wa polongo ẹ̀. By His grace, it shall be well with you. So ní agbára ti Ọlọ́run, máa fi àsìkò yìí rọ gbogbo wa láti wí pé kájọ mú nǹkan ìyá ayọ̀ yìí délé, torí ayọ̀ ni. Mo lè bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run, mo padà tẹnu bọ àṣẹ àwọn tó bí wa, torí wọ́n ní àṣẹ ọ̀ká bẹ lẹ́nu ọ̀ká, wọ́n ní àṣẹ èrè wọ́n ló bẹ lẹ́nu èrè, wọ́n ní àṣẹ ìlákọ̀ṣẹ́ bẹ lẹ́nu ìlákọ̀ṣẹ́, wọ́n ní àṣẹ yọ̀pọ̀yọ̀pọ̀ wọ́n ní ẹ bẹ lẹ́nu ìgbín. Mo tẹnu bọnú àṣẹ Elédùmarè, tó bá jẹ́ pé tòótọ́ àṣẹ Elédùmarè fi dọ́jọ́ tó ní kọjọ́ máa yọ, tó fi dá òrùn tó ní kòrùn máa ràn, ó padà ó pàṣẹ fún omi, ó ní kómi kó yí padà kó di ẹ̀jẹ̀, ó ní kẹ́jẹ̀ kó yí padà kó di iṣan, ó ní tíṣan yìí wá yí padà kó di àwọn ọmọ ènìyàn náà sin òun lénìí. Mo ṣe kábíyèsí fún Olódùmarè. Mo tẹnu bọnú àṣẹ náà. Ìgbìmọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ̀filélẹ̀ yìí, ó máa dúró, ó máa dìgbà ní.
Àṣẹ.
Gbogbo àwọn táwọn nílé yìí, kò sẹ́ni tó máa kábàámọ̀ pé àṣewájú lé. Lágbára ti tọ́lọ́run, gbogbo ibikíbi tó bá tún tọ́ sí láti tún ṣe, èmi fọwọ́ sọ̀yà pé èmi náà pẹ̀lú láti máa bá yín kiri ni láti polongo ẹgbẹ́ yìí. Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ fún gbogbo wa ṣe. Wàá dẹ̀ tún fi dá yín lójú lábẹ́ àṣẹ ọba Jímọ̀ Adéwálé Ọláwálé kò Tolúwaládé Ọ̀ṣunlóyèwá ọlọ́jọ́ta àfọjọ́ta kingdom. Mo ṣe kábíyèsí lórí adé. Màá délé jíṣẹ́ fáwọn náà àti àwọn lọ́balọ́ba, pàápàá ní kòṣọ̀fẹ́ tí èmi ti jáde wá láti tún gbé ìgbìmọ̀ yìí ní arugẹ. Ọlọ́run àti onílé adébàá gbé lárugẹ. Mo rí ìgbọ̀gbọ̀n dùn níbi ìlú tó ní ẹgbẹ̀rún àbínú nínú àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ tí a sọ tí ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ìtorí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àti sọ tradition wa àti yí orí ẹ̀ kòrò. A kọ̀ lọ́mú táyé ìbejì, alọ́ kì í bọ àárín ibi tí kò yẹ ká kì í bọ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n ti sọ ní orientation rárá. Ìyẹn ni mo ṣe rí ẹgbẹ́ ìgẹ́gẹ́ bí orientation foundation. Ọ̀pọ̀ ọba wọ́n máa fi wọ́n jẹ. Báwo la ṣe ń to ètò ọba kò yé wọn. Báwo la ṣe máa mú ọmọ tí kò kì í ṣe, I'm saying this, quote me, my name is Chief M.O. Odusanya, Olisa of Ojota Kingdom. I just want to seize this opportunity to spread my aim and my standing on the issue that just happened in Lagos State, especially the Koshofe. Kí a fẹ́ jẹ olórí ọmọ ọba, ẹjọ́ jẹ́ ó ṣeé ṣe kí a lọ mú ẹlòmíì tí kò ṣe ọmọ ọba ní gbogbo àgbègbè yẹn. For instance, ká ní a fẹ́ jẹ ọmọ ọba ní Èkó, ká lọ mọ́ ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú wá jọba ní ọmọọba lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àbí ká wá mú ọmọ Èkó ló jẹ́ olórí ọmọọba ní so kò ṣe ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ but ìtorí pé orientation ni kò sí ìyẹn ni mo ṣe dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìgbìmọ̀ yìí pé iṣẹ́ wà lọ́wọ́ yìí sà Ọlọ́run wa dẹ̀ fún yín ṣe láti go deep into every one of us pàápàá kò ṣe ìgbìmọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ pé gbogbo Yíbò àti Haúsá tó bá súnmọ́ tó gbọ́ wọn á rí díẹ̀ nínú wọn torí ọ̀pẹ ní ara ọ̀pẹ oríṣiríṣi kan ni tó bá fẹ́ ló máa rí bẹ̀ wàá rí gbálẹ̀ a lot of lókùlókù lágbára Ọlọ́run ọ̀rọ̀ èyí ò ṣe ọjọ́ rò ṣùgbọ́n mo dúpẹ́ fún àǹfààní ìṣẹ́jú kan tẹ fún mi ẹ má bínú pé mo waste little time ní lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí my name is Igbimo Omo Yoruba.
Because as we came here today, even our BOT member, the madam, I'm seeing her for the first time today. But we are in the same BOT. So we should use this opportunity to get work. Let's get to know one another. Then while we are doing that, we do some little refreshments before we finally go home. Thank you.
No, yes. Let me ask you. Yes, sir. Let's go.